Hello, I'm Bob Harris. We're going to show you another way to take your micro top floor over the top with the use of adhesive back stencils. Now you might ask, why would you use an adhesive back stencil? Well, quite simply, it's because of the extreme detail that you're able to obtain with these adhesive back stencils. Now, the stencil that we're using is this design right here, and the schematic drawing here shows a square of 48 inches by 48 inches. So what we've already done is we've used this actual stencil, we've saw cut our design into the floor, and we've acid stained, we've cleaned and neutralized the residue, and now we're getting ready to stick down our two-part stencil. So this is the stencil. The first stencil is A and B that we've taped together. We've positioned it. We've got our registration lines. We're getting ready to move forward. And then what we're going to do is once we've peeled the top paper on this, we're going to stick our second part of the stencil. And because of the size of the stencil, it requires two stencils to complete the overall design. Now you might observe here it says backing paper removes first, and so that's sometimes confusing for first-time users of these types of adhesive stencils. So remember, when you see the backing paper remove first, that always goes down to the concrete, and then what we're going to do is put a piece of tape here and a piece of tape there, hinge it back and remove the backing first, because where it says remove backing first, that's where the adhesive is. So don't get confused. You don't want to peel it off and find out that you've in fact peeled the wrong side. A couple of important points to know when you're working with these adhesive back stencils. Sometimes, especially in the winter months, the concrete substrate could be cool. So what you want to do is always carry a heat gun with you. It's not a bad idea before you position your stencil. Heat up the concrete a little bit. Just go ahead and run this for 3 or 4 minutes, roughly 12 inches from the surface. And all you're trying to do is warm the surface of the concrete, and that'll help tack the stencil down and stick nicely. Now once again, I've already positioned the stencil where it goes. Just double check here. And what I want to do is I want to create my hinge. And what this does is it helps keep the stencil positioned where we want it. So I'll have Brad come on in, give me a hand here, and from here what we're going to do is walk around this back way, and we're going to peel this back this way, lay it flat, okay, and over here it says remove backing paper first. So what we'll do is we'll take a burnisher. We want to burnish this down to make sure the stencil, you can use that one. Now, what's really crucial on this is that you go slow, because you don't want to remove the actual graphic, okay? So we'll always push down when we're removing the adhesive back first, looking at all the extreme detail. All right, we've successfully put down our stencil. It's not a bad idea for insurance just to really check and make sure all of these edges have been put down tight. And we've done that, so the next step is we're going to apply some acid in the gelled form. Now what's really crucial here is to make sure that you don't apply a lot of pressure. So I'm going to put some of the gelled acid right here in the middle, and we're simply going to squeegee it around, almost the weight of the squeegee. If I push too hard, it could wick up underneath the stencil. So you'll see it'll turn a different color. Remember, previously we had applied an acid stain, so the whole goal is to take some of the acid stain back off. So this is how much pressure. You see it fizzing? So that's an indicator that it's reacting, and it's going to take away some of the acid stain color. So once again, I'll put some in the middle here, and we can all kind of drag it out that way, real gentle. Make sure we don't miss any of the pieces. You should see fizzing on all of the stencil. We've applied our skim coat of gelled acid. You can really see we're getting an intense reaction. Remember, the goal here is to remove some of the previously applied acid stain. If we take it off right now, it would only remove a little bit of an acid stain, but I want a little bit more of an effect. So we're going to let this sit onto the surface for about 15 or 20 minutes. And what we'll do when we'll come back is we'll use the same scrapers, these little burnishing paddles, and we're going to remove the majority of the remaining acid that's on there. And then we're going to take a solution of baking soda and water and a tile sponge, and we're going to very aggressively clean the residue off. Let that dry for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and remove the stencil.